Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Stefan Seguin, your sales coach. Today, I want to share with you an objection that my mentees often receive, and they're not quite sure on how to deal with it the first few times they get it. And what's interesting, this is a very common objection, right? And that objection is, let me think about it. Yes, of course, there's the hard or easy way to do it, the typical response. But I want to go deeper into the psychological part of it. And what you'll be surprised to learn, maybe you haven't heard this, but oftentimes when people say, I want to think about it, well, you should look in a mirror and see how you are when you go to a store or when you buy an item. Do you say the exact same thing? Now, oftentimes when we say the same thing, what ends up happening is our clients end up doing the same thing to us because it's in our subconscious, right? So that being said, if you go to a store and, for example, either you're buying a suit or you're buying a dress, how do you react when people ask you for help? And you go through that and you find the items you want. Has this ever happened to you where you go to the cash and say, you know what? Yeah, this is great. I'll get back to you. I need to think about it. Well, if it hasn't happened to you, it certainly has happened to me. And I know exactly the feeling. And when I think back of what's going on in my mind, there's all kinds of doubt. So when you're speaking to your clients and you're talking about your offers, if you have the same type of little message in your subconscious, guess what's going to happen when you have those discussions with your clients? What is the likelihood of them saying, I need to think about it? More importantly, today I was having a conversation with a mentee of mine, and she brought up that same objection. And she says, several of her clients say that, I need to think about it. So I dug a little deeper and I asked her some questions. For example, the one I just shared with you, what kind of customer are you? And at first she didn't quite understand the question. So I dug a little deeper, and finally the light bulb went off and she realized that she says the exact same thing. When she doesn't say the same thing, and this is a bit of a tip for you, is when the product, the service, the offer that she buys, almost right away, it creates an emotional trigger. And it's a product that she needs and wants, right? She doesn't have to think about it. She goes right for it because that's what I want. Now, am I suggesting that you start buying, high-priced items and so that the customers do the same thing for you? That's not what I'm suggesting at all. What I'm saying is, think of how you purchase, how you are as a client. And if you act in the same fashion, then if you want your customers to change, you have to change. And what is it in the back of your mind that you're insecure about? What is it in your mind that you have a lot of doubt about? If you have those things in your subconscious minds, if you have those thoughts and those feelings in your subconscious mind, well, guess what? When you have those conversations with your clients and you're coming close to the close, the things that you say during the conversation, if you have any self-doubt, well, guess what? The customer in the end will say, oh, I have to think about it. So if I could suggest something for you is this. If you're doing regular sales calls and you're recording those calls, or you're in a meeting, face-to-face meetings, or on a phone conversation, track what you say. And then go back, especially when the customer says, I need to think about it, right? And of course, part of that, I need to think about it, the answer is, of course, Mr. Customer, I can appreciate that. It's an important investment. What specifically do you need to think about? And if they share that with you, say, okay, great. I will provide you the information you're looking for. Now, once I've done that, what will happen next? Now, there's more information I will provide for you in terms of how to close that and continue the conversation, but more on that later. And DM me if you're interested to know what's the next step. Let me know about that. So essentially, it's all about your psychology, right? If you have self-doubt and you apply the same tactics and you say the same thing, well, guess what? The likelihood of your clients saying the same thing to you when it's time to buy is very high. So we need to work on that. We need to track that, and we need to buy differently. When you go to a store from now on, don't say, or in your subconscious mind, catch yourself. Don't say, I need to think about it. Move forward. And again, all within reason. I'm not saying to go out there and buy a house or buy a car. It's not at all what I'm saying. But change how you invest. Change how you buy something. And create those winning conditions in your subconscious mind so that when you do talk to your clients with confidence and you're sold on what it is that you do and you're sold on the results you'll be able to deliver, what is the likelihood of you closing that client without them saying, I need to think about it? Here or here? I would say here. All right, guys, if you found this helpful, like, comment, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video.